So in today's video, we're going to be going over why I think the GoPro Max is the best action camera on the market and whether or not I think it's still worth it to buy today. So my name is Nick, I'm a video professional and a skier, so welcome to the channel. I make videos about skiing and I'm going to start adding more videos about the gear that I use. So if you're into that sort of thing, you found the right place. I'm going to go ahead and give you 6 reasons why I think that the GoPro Max is the best action camera on the market. The first is the audio. I'm going to go ahead and play you some examples from a different action camera that I have, the Insta360 1R, and then I will go ahead and compare that to the GoPro. Here's a vlogging test. Kind of see what the audio sounds like if you were to use this as a vlogging camera. And next we'll do a wind noise test. Wind noise test, 20 miles an hour. I've also modified my GoPro Max and added these wind furries on here. Wind furries do get in the way of the stitching. I can go ahead and link these wind furries in the description, but either way, the GoPro Max hands down has the best audio out of any 360 camera, any action camera. This is the best audio that you can get. Reason number 2 is reframing. I used to have an old GoPro, the original GoPro. I would always put it on my head and it was always pointed in the wrong direction. So with the introduction of 360 cameras, it finally allowed you to reframe and get the perfect frame in post-production and not worry so much about it in the field. Also too, you can get multiple angles from the same camera. I use this for canoeing, for example, and it's able to get an angle of the front and an angle of the back. You're basically getting 2 cameras in one, so I think that that's awesome. Another point too with the reframing is the stitching. If you have one of the selfie sticks, it will go ahead and stitch out the selfie stick. So it'll get you some really unique like third person perspective angles, which you just cannot get with a regular action camera. So the previous 2 reasons were really reasons that I think are unique to the GoPro Max, the audio and the reframing. But reframing isn't exactly specific to the GoPro Max. There is other options out there. Let's go ahead and talk about why I think the GoPro is better than those cameras. So first, let's go ahead and start with color science. So as a video professional, I've worked a lot with different cameras, and one thing that sets different cameras apart is the overall image quality. And one of the biggest details is color. GoPros, they've been around forever. They've had a lot of time to perfect their color science, and you almost can't tell the difference between a Insta360 and a GoPro. But from my experience, I feel like the GoPro Max just gets more accurate color. Another bonus too with the GoPro Max is you're able to have the flat picture profile on here, basically like a log mode. If you don't know what log shooting is, I'm not going to go into it, it's pretty technical, but this GoPro gives you the option to shoot that way. So the next reason that you should buy the GoPro Max is these lens caps. So they actually have these lens cap protectors. If you scratch the lens, it's done. You know, you have to buy a brand new unit. And these lens caps, when it's in and out of my bag, really helps me make sure that my lens is protected. Now that brings me to another reason, which is the lens protectors. So I have not used these yet, so I have to test them out, but this was a big reason why I purchased the GoPro Max, was these lens protectors. So they just screw right on here. I gotta do a little testing. I've heard that one issue that comes up with these is if you're in really bright sun, it can create some weird lines and shadows and everything. But you know, for like powder skiing, I think you're good. I don't know if you necessarily need them, but if you're going to be going through trees and everything where, you know, the tree branches could hit it and scratch it, I think it's a good idea to use these. And so the final reason is sharpness. So in the GoPro Max's menu system, you can actually go in here and it will allow you to change the sharpness, which is one thing that I think is important because you could always add more sharpness after, but you can't take it away. So you can go in here and you can switch up the sharpness. I have it set to medium and I found that to be pretty good. But one thing that I really hated about the Insta360 was just how sharp and digital the image looked. So far from my experience using the GoPro Max, I've been able to get a more natural, clean looking image, and this is likely a result of being able to change the sharpness. One of the biggest factors is obviously cost. Now, I got this for $400. I also bought an extra battery. I believe my total came out to be like $450, $475 with tax and shipping. You know, this is only $50 more than the latest version of the regular Hero 11. At the time of filming this video, that is the current GoPro. So, yes, you could buy an older GoPro, like the 10 or the 9 or the 8. This isn't a bad option if you're seriously a budget filmmaker. If you are really budget friendly, then maybe this isn't the camera for you, but I would raise the point that if you're only gonna buy one, it's probably gonna last you a long time. If this camera makes it easy for you to make good footage, then I think it's important to spend the extra money to actually get something that you use. So aside from cost, if cost really isn't an issue for you and you're able to afford this camera, I think that this has the best chance of getting the best image, and for me that's the most important thing. The ease of use and the ability to change things in post-production, I think that is definitely worth the cost. Other action cameras just don't have that ability, and so that's why I think that the GoPro Max is the best camera. The Hero 11, I believe they just added an 8x7 mode, so instead of the standard 16:9 aspect ratio, you're actually getting an 8x7 aspect ratio, and paired that with a ultra wide lens, and you'll definitely have some flexibility and some room to reframe. You still won't get those double angles, and you won't get the ability to have the third person view. My conclusion is that I think that this is still worth it. It was actually rumored that there would be a new 360 camera from GoPro, but they usually release their cameras at this time and they haven't done that. So at the time of filming, you know, we definitely won't have a new 360 camera for at least a year. I'll go ahead and make a separate video about workflow, and then I can go ahead and provide some sample footage if you guys would like that. But if I decide to do that, that will be down in the description below. Yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking around. I'd love to hear your thoughts and whether or not you guys are gonna pick one of these up. And if you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, definitely let me know. If you want to see more content that relates to the outdoors and filmmaking, feel free to subscribe if you'd like. That way you'll get notified when I post new videos. I plan to make new videos every week from here on out. And I appreciate you watching. Have fun with the filmmaking. So, cheers.